cuando vengan los actores de Zombieland, Double Tap.
I'd like to introduce Avanjogia. His character's from Berkeley. Next, I'd like to bring up Zoe Deutsch. Also, I'd like to introduce Rosario Dawson. And last but certainly not least, the man with all the rules, Jesse Eisenberg.
Can you give them a little something what you just gave us? Double! Double! Oh, feels good, right guys? Hot damn. First and foremost, let's just go right down the line here, and I want to know what weapon you would be most adept at using in the zombie apocalypse. Go.
I would go for a trowel.
Ooh, a trowel. That's like an old-timey weapon.
Carry it in your pocket, whip it out, be ready to go. I need a trowel in my area.
We've been up here 5 minutes and Ruben's talking about whipping it out. Oh, we're Comic Con! Zoe?
What? A weapon?
Yeah. Give me a weapon.
You gotta be resourceful. So my nails are a weapon.
Yes.
They're sharp, and no one's gonna expect them at all.
Get it, girl. What about you, Jesse?
My best weapon is always running very quickly away. More a defensive strategy than an offensive one.
Awesome. Rosario?
My mind.
Oh! It's a brilliant one. Nicely done.
You know, you gotta MacGyver your way out of all kinds of situations, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's your biggest asset. That's true.
It is.
I would use like a plank of wood because it's versatile. You can put nails in it. You can sharpen it up as a javelin.
Toothpicks.
Toothpicks. You got toothpicks always.
Being the writers, I think pen. Pen is mightier than the sword.
That's what I hear.
But also a sword would be great.
Sword would be better, actually. Sword.
And I think I'd go with a Cuisinart maybe.
A lightsaber? Can I change to a lightsaber?
Also lightsaber.
Okay.
You want to just abandon your mind for the lightsaber? It's Comic Con.
Yeah, that's Jedi stuff right there.
And now let's talk about how you guys decided to make Double Tap. So who made the call? How did it start to happen?
I actually did make the call. It was about 5 years ago after I had some films that weren't as beloved as Zombieland. And I was kind of licking my wounds a little bit and thinking about, oh, that was pretty great, that first movie I made, and those people were pretty awesome. Maybe we should try and get them back together. And so I called up the studio and they were excited to pursue it. And unfortunately, Rhett and Paul were busy making a little movie called Deadpool. So they weren't around to write it straight away, but we had a couple different writers help out, and then they came in and brought it home while I was shooting Venom. The final draft came in, and then the rest is history. We were able to get the original cast back, and it was a dream come true.
Paul and Rhett, did you guys have, I'm going to lean way forward because it's a good look. Did you guys have unused zombie kills that you got to make a reality for this movie? Because the ones from the first are so exciting and creative and really super memorable.
Well, I mean, the leaning tower. Ooh, am I allowed to talk about that? Oh. Well, I mean, the leaning tower at Pisa may end up falling over on top of something. Maybe.
It might happen. Zoe, I think that since you're new, we have to figure out who Madison is. Can you totally, tell us about Madison?
Yes, so I play Madison, who is one of the new survivors that the OGs meet in Zombieland. Madison is, I get to live all of my Valley Girl dreams out through Madison. I was born and raised in the San Fernando Valley. I've been studying the accent, the vocal fry, for 24 years, so that's who she is.
Do you think you could give us like a little taste of it live right now?
100%. Literally like anytime. Yeah. You guys are all so cute.
So cute.
Just wait, you guys. Wait till you see Madison in action.
And in fact, we have a clip to show you of just that. So why don't we roll a clip introducing you to Madison?
Unless you're in a full...
And like a whole movie in like that velour tracksuit seems like the best costume ever, also.
Oh yeah, that was cozy as hell. That was amazing. I love that tracksuit.
Jesse, I'm assuming that it was incredibly intoxicating for Columbus to get to explain his rules to this fabulous new lady. There aren't a lot of them in Zombieland, so what was it like to come back into this world for you?
Oh, it was like an amazing honor. Like, you know, it was like the first like kind of like popular movie I did, and like then subsequently it proved time and time again how great the experience was by contrast to other experiences. Like, it was just such a special movie. In terms of explaining my rules to her, that is like this person's absolute dream come true, to have like a girl interested in his rules, since Emma's character, who I'm dating, doesn't follow them.
She knows him, she doesn't follow him, she's over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems it's like a weirdly sexy thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, thank you so many people coming here. I'm so shocked.
Rosario, can you tell us about Nevada, because she is the most badass?
Nevada's resourceful. Nevada's my kind of lady. She's game, she's ready, she's independent, she's fierce, she's fun, wild. I am, actually. Yeah, it was really fun playing her and pretending to have way better skills with guns and cars than I actually do. No, actually I did on my own driving. No special effects. And the entire...
Avon, can you talk about like what was happening with you when Zombieland 1 came out? What was your response to that movie?
Well, you mean as a person, or what was Berkeley doing in Zombieland 1?
No, I'm gonna say you spiritually as a human sitting in front of us.
I was 10 years younger than I am now.
Right, so like an embryo.
So let's start there. Yeah, so let's start there. I was, you know, a young person. I watched this movie. I remember being really moved and touched by how human the story is, even despite the zombies and all the undead people. And so, yeah, that's what was going on with me.
And this seems like one of those sets that you definitely want to be on. It just seems like you guys were having a ton of fun. Like, what was one of your favorite moments?
I got yelled at by Woody Harrelson for a whole movie.
What's that?
I got yelled at by Woody Harrelson for a whole movie. That's great. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's super intense. Where do you guys see it? October 18th in theaters. Ruben, where do you see this movie fitting in to sort of this gigantic zombie pantheon that we've got? Because when Zombieland came out, you guys were kind of tapping into something that was in a really different place than it is now. Now we've seen a whole bunch of, dare I say, imitators? Or homage?
I just like to keep my head down and focus on what we're about. For me, the point of making this movie was really try to get back the magic of the first one as closely as possible, and that was the priority. It's just like harnessing the spirit, and it was really important to the original cast and to me and to the writers, obviously, if we were going to do another one that'd be as good as the first one, and so we put a really high bar, and we didn't want to make anything that would let people down, so that was our focus in approaching this. But I dare say maybe this is the funniest zombie movie there is, and I'll stake my claim with that.
Guys, guys, when you were coming up with the story, I like hearing about your writing process because I always end up enjoying your movies so much. I want to know who does what makes you fight, what ends up in the movie. Like, where did the storyline specifically for this one kind of come up from?
Well, writers have the most boring lives in the world. We sit in small rooms, basically in our pajamas or in our underwear, and then we imagine wonderful things.
I sit in Rhett's underwear, actually. I actually wear Rhett's underwear while I write.
But yeah, I mean, we take, because we're relatively boring people, we let our minds go to places that are more interesting than we are, and we just follow that, and it led here. And then these wonderful, beautiful people take over, and that's good for everybody.
Zoe, did you have, there's a lot of car riding in this movie, so I want to know who's the funniest one to be stuck in a car with for long hours of filming? Nice. Response?
I'm sitting next to her. She's so unbelievably funny in the movie, you can tell from that clip, but like, it was actually, I'm speaking on behalf of Woody and Emma here as well. It was a very difficult experience not laughing at her. She would do something different each time. What you just saw is like actually a pretty tame example of what she does in the movie, you know, compared to that scene, and I just see it for that reason. It's hysterical.
Rosario, was there a behind-the-scenes moment that you will treasure forever? You have a lot of great scenes with Woody Harrelson, and you also, I don't want to give it away, but you live in an amazing place in the film.
I do. I think the fans will understand this a lot. I was a huge fan of the first movie, and I would be chomping at the bit to watch it on Friday, regardless of being in it. So for me, it was more like the greatest BTS experience ever, except I had to keep reminding myself I was on set, I was supposed to act as well. But it was just remarkable to see everyone, to see this group back together again, and to see the entire process. We have this amazing shootout scene that took 3 days to shoot, that takes a few minutes to watch, but to see how it was all built together and created, and to keep the funny and keep the relationships going even in the midst of all the action was just amazing. I felt like I learned a lot, and it was a beautiful family to be invited to be a part of, and I'm really hoping this does really, really well. Don't let me down, folks, because then maybe we can do a third lineup.
October 18th in theaters. So, everybody put your hands together and double tap your applause for